Dryden, can you hear me? Can
Hello.
you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How you
Yep, yep.
doing?
How are you?
Very good, very good. You in California at the moment?
Yep. I'm hanging out at home. Just took my dogs up the hill and I'm just hanging out.
It's very good, mate. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, mate. I really appreciate this. You're speaking to in Perth at the moment. I mean, I'm in Perth at the moment in Australia.
Awesome, man.
Thank you so much, mate. Yeah, so you can see me. Recordings are good. That's good. So, I know I'm a bit early here, mate, but congratulations on your 30th anniversary. Yes, I know I'm only by 2 years, but I would like to be the first,
Uh,
I would like to be the first person to say it, mate. So it must be really awesome, isn't it, for the last 30 years, that you have survived, the band have survived the last 30 years.
yeah, it's been crazy little ride. Our own personal adventure, man. We've had some crazy fortunes and a few misfortunes along the way, and all sum up Alien Ant Farm. It's been good.
That's fantastic, hey. And Alien Ant Farm is not just about Smooth Criminal, isn't it? I mean, the band have produced 6 albums over the last 30 years. The latest one was released in February. So the band have started as a new metal. Do you feel like the band have evolved musically through a different genre, like alternative metal and so on?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I'm not even really certain what new metal is. I feel like even back when it was coined and we were dubbed new metal, we were always dabbling in different styles, I think. I felt like the stepbrother to new metal. I didn't know if we were included in the club, although it was said we were. Yeah, I'd like to think we've evolved. I feel like we were evolved when we at least even on that first record, we were just trying new things and learning how to stand out. And that's what it's about, I guess. This new record, the production is great. We took a lot of time making sure that we got it right for our liking. If other people join in and they dig it, we appreciate it. But it was for us. It was for us something to do. How do you pass the time but to create music and try and make it sound as best you can and try and write it the best you can. That's all we can do.
Yeah, so the new record Mantras, it to me it has that stadium arena feel to it, like a big
I
audience feel to it. And
w- I
yeah,
wish.
yes, but so someone was saying, I'm not sure who said it, it could be you or someone, but the new album might not be for the faint-hearted, but it might be for the heartbroken. I'm not sure who said it. Do you agree to that?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, it's just always kind of like scratching at the surface of like, um, I don't. I feel like it's an ode to me. I guess it's a love letter to myself. If people can join in and get again, a lot of music isn't supposed to necessarily every lyric taken literally. These are little quips that I just find fascinating or self improvements that I want to express to myself. And so if I can. If I can get anyone to join in on my ridiculousness and the way I phrase things, the way I say things, um, then I'm pleased to do it. I find even like sometimes I don't even know what a lyric really means completely. Uh, and then years later, something hits me, and I think, wow, that actually applies to me now. Not even when I wrote it did it apply to me. It's almost like I willed this thing to come true in some weird way.
So it's like a manifestation. Do you feel
I
that?
think it's got to be right. I mean, it seems to work.
And the song Last Dance, The Ends, is that a metaphor for like a farewell song? It's not, is it?
No, well, I guess it was almost I guess just making a splash musically, it even says like I don't I just to be another ghost on the radio. my idea of maybe Long being dead and hearing this Smooth Criminal cover in 20, well, I'm gonna live longer than that. But anyways, there was some little nod to a relationship versus being like this ghost on the radio seems like such a harsh thing, even hearing like a again, I wouldn't say I'm on the level of songwriter craftsmanship as like a Tom Petty or something, but something weird happens once the artist is gone. And it feels like a little dimension of that person is even the music changes. So I don't know.
And before Mantras, there was a 10-year hiatus. Was that a deliberate break, or did the band say, you know what, I had enough?
It's a little bit of both. It's like a marriage where we try in the early days of Ant Farm, we just traveled so much together and shared again like successes and a few tragedies and broken necks and bus crashes and all the things. And when you throw alcohol on top of that stuff, I feel like we did need a little break from each other. It's almost like a marriage and a brotherhood combined.
Yep.
And we all know brotherhoods and marriages never work out, so we had to like figure it out, and maybe a little bit solo here and there.
Yeah. So Smooth Criminal is undoubtedly, the most famous song from Alien and Farm. Um, the original song was massive by Michael Jackson. So it's really brave of any band to take on a Michael Jackson song. So with the combination of the hooks by Michael Jackson and the brashness from Alien and Farm, did the band know that it's going to be a massive hit before it was released?
No, I mean, yeah, the hope is that every song you do has some reaction and of some form of success. Doesn't necessarily have to be massive, but I knew that like just hearing it through the speakers in that studio and everything sounds glorious when you're in a great studio, but the tempo and it just felt right, and I had a feeling that it was going to do something. I couldn't say that I knew it was going to be a massive hit, but I knew it was going to get some attention just because it was done well musically, and it feels anyone can cover a song. It's there to be learned and done. But it felt different. It felt a little more special, and it felt like it was going to receive some attention. So can't say I knew it, but it felt that way.
Yeah, but what is okay? So did Michael Jackson did he have any artistic input into the song, or it was just purely Alien and Farm?
No, we did it, and then we sent it to him, and I'm surprised he even responded back. He really liked the song. Even when we were making the video, we didn't want to offend him in any way. We didn't want him to think we were like making fun of him in any way. Because again, we had there's a little boy in the video where he's wearing a mask, and Michael Jackson wore the mask because of his failed surgeries. So we don't want to piss him off. So we sent him the video with the he wanted us to reshoot that video with the little boy without the mask. So we did that and we sent it back to him. Then he said, "You know what? I like it better with the mask." We were just like, I almost felt like he was messing with us, but it was awesome just to be the fact that he was like consciously thinking about our band seems kind of weird and strange to me, but there we were.
What's really strange that I'm actually talking to someone who has spoken with Michael Jackson. It feels this 1 degree of separation between me and Michael Jackson. That is so surreal.
Yeah, we never met, so I wish maybe we would have one time. We got invited. We did a tribute show for Michael Jackson in Wales with like Smokey Robinson. We were the only rock band there. There were so many R&B artists and stuff. It was cool to be that uh the sore thumb or the black sheep of that crowd to be a rock band doing it. Again, he had already passed at that point, but that was a cool honor. Just meeting his mom and dad and his family. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was mostly surreal. So Was there any regret that 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 Smooth Criminal was released that early into your career, or did you feel like I knew movies was out before, but do you feel like
Yeah,
you should have released a bit later?
I do, yes, because our label had released Smooth Criminal without us even knowing. So that, of course, the idea that it came as quickly as it did, but my thoughts on it were just that song I felt was going to eclipse the band. It was going to be bigger than the actual band, and by almost every way it was. But it's hard to you can't complain about something good that's happening in real time. You know what I mean? At my young age, I felt like I kind of was still found a way to complain about it, at least for a little while. Um, but yeah, I had envisioned our band maybe doing somewhat of a successful first album, a slightly better successful second record, and then maybe the third album, not just song, but like the third record would be our time to shine or whatever. That's the way I saw bands that I loved growing up maybe kind of climb that ladder of success. So when it happened all quick and then with a song that's not even your own, I couldn't help but feel like a little bit of worry there. But again, what's to worry about when good things are going on in your life?
I mean, 30 years later, you're still making music, traveling the world, and I think it's been a good journey. Um,
Trying, yes.
yeah, yeah. So apparently, I mean, Alien and Farm, I mean, you were so massive back in the early 2000s that I heard you rejected James Hetfield's invitation to a dinner. Is that correct?
No, that was that actually he took me out to dinner. We I had it sounds it's part of the story is correct. We had kind of come in contact. We did some shows in Germany with Metallica, and I left a phone. I gave him a CD, and I left my phone number in there. Anyways, he had contacted me years, quite a bit later, and we started a little bit of a connection. He invited me to dinner, and I told him that I couldn't go because I was visiting my parents in Vancouver, and I didn't want to leave my parents. So he called me back, and he said, "No one's ever really like turned me down for." He said, "I respect you for turning me down for over your parents, choosing your parents over me." And he asked, "Would you like to come to dinner and bring your parents?" And so that's what we ended up doing. So that was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, that's a good boy. So how was it back in the early 2000s? I mean, it must be such a surreal journey. I mean, when you look back, it must be so surreal, wasn't it? I mean, with all the people, fans. I mean, how many have you performed in front of? Like 60,
Yeah,
70,000 people? Yeah.
yeah, it's weird. It's almost like part of that chaos is makes you not, maybe if you stopped and thought about it, you'd get nervous or maybe not even be able to do it in a weird way. I've always been a little bit of a shy person, but when you have everything going at one time in this little bit of tornado that's created when an emerging young band starts and actually has like a hit, it's good that busyness is going because you don't really have time to think about if this is um I don't know, see if it's achievable or something. But so I definitely have fond memories of just being in that moment, and capitalizing on it and just meeting so many new people, and just the fact that there was a bit of excitement for that band in the early years, and somewhat we've managed to contain a few fans along the way. It's been great.
When I spoke to the guitarist from Europe, the band Europe, he said that he was unable to leave the stadium 1 hour after the concert's finished. Did you get that sort of crowd as well?
Well, it just depends show to show. We're so accessible as a band. We really are usually hanging out with fans. Half the fans are friends that we already have frequented their city and we know them personally. It's definitely a vibe of camaraderie and like a feels like a community. We're probably not as big of a band as Europe, obviously, but so we keep it simple and tight, and we have our friends mixed with our fans, and it's a good time.
Yeah. So finally, you're coming to Australia in February next year. What can we expect from your show, from the band's show?
I mean, we try and sprinkle in a few new songs, maybe 4 or 5 new songs out of, I don't know, 15 or 20, but we don't want to. We're excited for new music, but I know that people want that nostalgia. They want to hear the record that they loved growing up, or that meant something to them in their high school years, or whatever age that might have been. So yeah, I mean, we're a live band, we're energetic, and we're just trying to bring an evening of try and create a memorable moment for people. I don't Nothing crazy other than just trying to recreate these songs as best we can.
Have you been to Australia, particularly Perth?
One time we did Big Day Out, and I think this will be the first Perth experience.
Yeah. Hey, mate, if you're around, mate, I'm happy to take you out for drinks, man.
Well, please, if you happen to come to the show, please come say hello and give me a high five, and we'll have a chat in person. I'd love to.
I would definitely would love to. Dryden, it was an honor to chat with you, and it's such a great honor. So thank you so much, and have a good day.
Awesome. Thank you, bro.
Thank you. See you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.